Okay, I think I figured it all out. Apologies. I'm not always the best with the technology thing. And I don't know, I click things too fast, I think, is what it is. Anyway, welcome to Pieces That Pat Paints. I'm Pat. That big glowing orb can go over there for now. We'll pull it back over here later. That's the paint camera and all that. Oh, thank God, the little thing, the refrigerator went off. I have like this massive refrigerator in there that I keep all sorts of tasty beverages and cheeses in, because I really like a problem with cheese. Some might call it an unnatural love, or even unholy. I like cheese too much. Anyway, this is we paint things on this channel, if you'd believe it. We don't. Oh, it's not just me being weird. But you know, at least it's the fun kind of weird. So we're working on Ranni from Elden Ring. It's a game. It's a video game. It's very popular with a lot of folks. I enjoy it. I haven't really played it, but I enjoy looking at the stuff. The art is great. The lore is really cool. There's a lot of really cool things that go on in Elden Ring. I like to win at video games. And, you know, when I was younger, I probably would have loved this game because it's really intense and it's really hard. But, you know, now I kind of like Minecraft and, you know, stuff I can like. I don't really have to. God, that game's hard. I played the Dark Souls game and it was alright. It was just really hard. And so was Sekiro. I played that one too. I think I got further in that one. But I like Japanese stuff, so it was really, I'm more interested in it. And speaking of Japanese, today we're going to start working on what looks like a kimono. I'm pretty sure it is a kimono, since these gentlemen who designed this, I'm trying to grab my dang charge cord is what I'm doing. The Japanese, designed this, Japanese folks. So I would assume that this is a kimono. It looks like one, so I'm making a guess. But we're going to start working on that. She's really pretty. Let's go ahead and shrink me down. We're going to start looking at what we're doing today. I'm going to go way up here in the corner. I'm high up here. I'm so weird today. Oh, we're looking right at the top of her pedestal. Okay, so we're going to work on her kimono today. I need to go ahead and get this side primed up, but I needed to look at a couple of things before I did that. That may be a little too loud. It is a little too loud. There we go. That's better. Alright, so that part's going to go around, and I went ahead and glued her legs on while we were not on camera while I was doing that. But we got her legs done, and we got this inside part to her slip done. So it looks great. I love the choice with the rope feet. I think that's really fun. That's not how it looks in the source material, but it definitely works out well. So, and then those little pegs just go right down in there. And then this kimono is going to go around the outside of it. I need to... So we're not going to really see this seam that's back here, so I'm not terribly worried about it. But it doesn't... And I'm making sure we don't have any flaws or anything I have to cover up. Because see, they put the seams right in like folds of clothing. except for this back one. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to. We're gonna paint this, and then we're gonna put it together. And we're just gonna hope that I hope that we can't see that little groove. It is in the back of the model, so I think we'll be okay. Okay. I need to put a little primer on this other one, and then we'll kind of get started. I thought I had a little pink palette over here. I do not. It's all right. We'll just put it right on this palette here. This thing's go over here. I had a really crazy weekend. It would appear that we're going to have to replace the water pump in the van, as it went kaput on us as we were driving down the highway. So that was super entertaining. Hello, McBeardsley. Good to see you, sir. So yeah, my van is kind of kaput. At least for now. It will return. And I should say Kristen's van, because it's really her van. It's not mine. But we only have the one vehicle at the moment, so it's like, hey, it's Mr. Cunningham. Nice to see you, sir. We're priming up this witch. Some sort of witch. I think my son said she was like a winter witch or a snow witch or something. I might be mistaken. He might have said moon. Maybe he said moon. I don't remember. Oh yeah. Here's the crazy thing. Like, you gotta see if you. Yeah, we'll see that part. So you gotta keep kind of matching it up and looking for the parts that we're gonna see. Because like this, all this section here, you won't see it. It'll be glued against the other part of our legs. And this is actually an airbrush primer, but I like how thin it is, and it works pretty well as a brush on if you don't have an airbrush. I do have that too, but using it on a live show, you wouldn't be able to hear. It's loud. It's louder than me. It is pretty loud. It'll you know. Or maybe you don't have an airbrush. Maybe you've never seen an airbrush or used an airbrush. But if you do, they make a lot of noise. There's a compressor that's attached to it, and it. I try to not just assume things, you know. At least not too much. Especially on who's watching these videos. It's pretty wild. We're up to 235 now. After the weekend, picked up 2 people. So welcome aboard. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. You know, thank you everybody who's watching. I always appreciate that too. Don't want you to think you're not appreciated. But yeah, welcome to the new subscribers. Welcome to anybody who may be watching us for the first time. I'm in a jolly good mood for having a really, really wild week. It was also like the back to school week, so like we had to get 4 kids into school, you know, and then, you know, of course, and I tore my back up a little bit trying to fix part of the van, which obviously what I thought was wrong with the van wasn't what was wrong with the van, but what I did was good anyway. It was, you know, it's one of the first things they would have done anyway when they put the thing back together, they'd have been like, oh no, you need a new belt. Be like, oh, it's a brand new belt. Like, I just put it on there. So, yeah. At least, hopefully. Hopefully I did it right. I'm pretty sure it's right. I've put several fan belts on before. Matter of fact, Dave and I have put fan belts on cars together. So, I know how a fan belt works. Not hard to figure out. Oh, yes. Beardsley says, yep, she focuses on lunar magic. It has something to do with the glint stones, which would be the crystals that make the blue glow. Not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it got explained to me somewhere, and then Cullen had reminded me, but it's hard for me to keep a whole bunch of information in my head anymore. And I start to get some of this stuff confused, because it gets a little bit wild, especially because you have like 4 guys with basically the same name. You're like, oh, that's very slightly different. It's all like variations of Bill, Billy, Bobby, Boom, Billy Bob. I mean, like, you got William. This is more like a whole bunch of people with the same. I don't know. It's close. Their names are very close together. It's confusing. Okay, cool. That's done. Okay, so this is like a super light blue, because she's almost even more. Like, she's super light blue. And then the cloak is almost like white with just. It's almost like white with just a tinge of blue. Okay. I don't know. I gotta think for a second. Okay. I don't want to go straight white down there. Windsor might be too much. Cody might be too much. I don't think we'll go with the Windsor. No, I think we go with the. I think we're gonna do white and then we're gonna glaze it. Is what we probably should do. Ugh, the white's so streaky. Man, Saturday was not good for me, Mr. Big Beardsley. 20-minute brake change, turned into litter all day. Oof. Changing brake and rotor, yeah. I just had the brakes done on mine. I don't change brakes anymore. But golly, it was expensive. It made me go like, golly, I think maybe I need to go back to changing my brakes. It's crazy. I've never had brakes run out like it runs out on this van. I think it's the being out here in the country, man. Going up because we're out in the, where all the hills are in the woods. And I think something to do with that really makes things crazy. Okay, so I'm actually thinking we should probably go with a Payne's gray here. Lightened up severely, and then we're probably gonna fade up on with some whites and maybe some other blues. But in order to get the creases done, we're gonna need to do a little bit of Payne's gray. Like I said, we are gonna lighten the ever-living snot out of this stuff. That should work for our base. at least in the back and the crevices and the underneath. When we get this underneath done, we can put it together. But getting in here and being able to do this is nice. It's not as easy. It's not easy when you're trying to not hit her legs and stuff. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and paint the whole thing in this. It's a good start color. It'll help kind of get rid of our streaks later on when we're trying to put white on it. Good color to build up from. Oh, yes. Yeah, garden maintenance is a pain in the butt. You know, and then like I said, you got school starting on top of that, and then I'm trying to get this coaching stuff in line. It is a lot. It's a lot. They got you doing a lot of stuff. So I got all these certificates signed off, and I got all this stuff done, and waiting on a background check to clear, which it should clear. I don't have I haven't done anything. At least, you know, not like illegal like that. You know, I think I might have some speeding tickets and maybe some stupid stuff from back when I was a kid, but you know. Nothing like what they're probably looking for. I would guess that you're looking for people that, you know, have assault charges or are on lists. You know, you don't want to hire anybody on a list. So hopefully it clears. It would suck if it didn't. It'd be weird if it didn't. I don't feel like I have anything on there that would justify getting, like I said, getting it done like that. But who knows? You never know. They'd be like, oh, you had a speeding ticket back in 1999. Shame on you. I doubt it's like that. Oh, come on. Give us that last bit. Come on, we got a little bit of give. We got a little bit. Oh, yeah, we do. Been limping that little bit of white paint around for a minute. I keep saying I'm going to go to the store and get some more. And then I don't. Because that's how I am. Sometimes. Not all the time. I'm not like that all the time. But yeah, I do be like that sometimes. I like this brush because it holds a lot of paint. And if you're trying to do something like this where we're getting a base coat down on a larger surface area, this guy is the way to go. It's some sort of old coarse hair bristle, you know. It's definitely not a synthetic, but it which there's nothing wrong with synthetic. You got a synthetic that does this kind of work, then this is what you want. It's a big broad face and got a lot of length on it, so the bristles will flatten out real good, you know, without causing too much problem. You can get a pretty thin coat, and as long as you mind what you're doing, you won't have a lot of streaking. And it's a pretty resilient brush. Like, it takes a lot of punishment. I mean, of course, I'm still not sticking it in stuff and twisting it around like crazy, but not committing assault on my brushes. That's what those cheapo synthetics are for. You want to be abusive to brushes. Buy a box of cheapo synthetics and just go to town. You can tear those up and throw them away. You don't feel bad. About like, you know, you can buy like 100 of them for a couple bucks. $10, a lot of 1,000. All right. Here we go. All right. Oh, I got one side on here, maybe. Oh, yep. I totally missed the side. Oh, a little extra blue there on accident. Be aight. All right, so I think I want to do a little bit of a darker run on this inside. We need a little bit more paint on that section right there. Really want to make sure that this coat is getting rid of all that primer. I don't worry so much about the inside. Because we're going to come back with a way darker color on that. Just probably a straight Payne's gray. We definitely wanted to see what it's going to look like. I like that as our starting point for these robes, or the kimono. Yeah, that's a good plate. Other than the van, how was my weekend? I mean, I didn't get to pick up my kids because I had like no way to take them back. The three, okay, so I have 4 kids. 3 that I made, 1 that's mine because he says so and I say so and his mom says so and everybody says so because that's my homie. And then my other 3 that they spend half time with their mother and half time with me, and I wasn't able to get them yesterday because I didn't have a way to take them back to the city to go to school, so I missed a chance to get to see them, which sucks. It breaks my heart, but such is life. So I gotta figure out what to do today, which I've almost got everything back on track, and it's gonna be fine. The van goes in the shop on Thursday, but I'll borrow my sister's car for a few days, and blah 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 blah. But the car I needed to borrow from hers was out of town because of this. It gets really long and crazy, because that's just how those things go. Well, it looks like I should finally have a drivable car this afternoon, in time to go pick them up and be back on track with everything, which is good because I gotta go to a soccer practice today. Hopefully with any luck anyway. This is definitely a place where airbrush would be helpful. There's just a crevice down there. It's hard to get to. I think I got most of it though. Okay. A little bit more of that Payne's gray. I'm just gonna mix it right into what we've already got on the palette here. Chill it out that way. And then we're going to do this. Anything underneath is going to be just this color. And then we're not going to worry about getting too much detail in past that. Except for on these places that will be exposed. We're still gonna bring this darker Payne's gray in there. So the goal is to get this glued on today, which looks like we're going to be able to make that happen, which is awesome. I'm excited about that. Love when a plan comes together. A-team, anybody? Okay. No? And we might come back and use something like the darker Payne's gray again on the tops. But we're going to do that with a smaller brush. We've got a lot more control of. This stuff on the inside, that's going to be, you're not going to see it really because it's all pointed down underneath this base. So you can't really see it. But we don't want to leave it just primer gray because that won't look right. This paintbrush is kind of like a paintbrush made out of the kind of paint bristles that you would use to paint your house. I love it for this kind of work. Like if I'm trying to get broad areas of cloth done quickly, man, this is the jam. Beardsley's been playing Fallout 4 to get all the achievements on his PC. Doing the nuke. Oh yeah, Nuka Cola world. The Nuka world is crazy. Trying to take out all the gangs. Yesterday, last night we watched the part of the inspiration for Fallout. It's called Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. And in that movie, they talk about the idea of underground bunker civilization and stuff like that. And it's a comedy. It's just a weird comedy, which is also what Fallout is. So if you've never seen it, you should totally see it. Just gotta go in like that. Okay, there we go. Alright, there it is. Yeah, I don't think we want to glue that thing together just yet. There's so much work we gotta do on the inside there. So it does not look like we're gonna get to what I thought we were gonna get to today, but that's alright. Okay. I've not watched all of it, but I am to the point where... Oh, let's see, where did we end off? She's met back up with, was it Maximus? After he killed the dude when he found out he had, and if you watch the show, don't listen anymore because there's definitely spoilers. So he had killed Titus, and then the other guy found out that he had killed Titus. Is where I was. Just making sure I got all that gray slain. Just a white, a little bit wetter version there. We're gonna have to let this gal dry up a bit. But yeah, that's gonna look great. Needed. Okay. And we have to let that dry, and then I think we're gonna just start having a dry brush on like a blue-white mix. Yeah, when you get release date, yeah, season 2. It's definitely they've done a great job. Honestly, like, okay, a lot of people complain about everything incessantly, and you can't get anything right for everyone in this day and age. And I've watched it, and I've played all of the Fallout games, and like I understand how some people are upset, but I also think that they did a great job, because like the thing with Fallout is that you can't believe everything you hear and read. So like all of it's unreliable narrators, all of it. So to get hung up on this story that this faction told you about this thing in the first Fallout or whatever, that's not actually helpful for your position in Fallout, because like they most likely are lying to you. So, you know, there's that. Unreliable narrators. It just be that way. Beardsley says, honestly, I'm completely satisfied with the show. As an avid Fallout fan, also played them all. Yeah. I mean, I even played like those terrible Brother of Steel games and all that stuff, and that stuff was bad. Some of that stuff was just terrible. And you know, if we're getting super upset about that, then like, man, bro, come on. Oh, well, you didn't keep it true to this or that or the other thing. Oh, and they moved the super mutants. Like, I know people that are mad at the Bethesda games because it like changed a few of the little things from some of the other games, and you're just like, buddy, palo, friend, you need to chill out, go touch some grass. Since I didn't play ball tactics to or the brother to steal game. Yeah. I mean, they were fun. There wasn't anything wrong with those games. They were fun games. The stories were a little quirky, and the graphics were, you know, they weren't what they are today. But it was fun. It was fun, and it had a decent little storyline and stuff like that. But again, you're still, like I said before, we're talking about the world of unreliable narrators. Everyone in the Wasteland is trying to manipulate you in some way, shape, or form. It's just a way of life. The people that survive the bombs are not the kind of people, they're still around, are not the kind of people that haven't gotten that way by being a little bit untrustworthy. You know what I mean? Or making up their own stories to deal with their psychoses. Because anybody who's survived that has developed some sort of a level of PTSD. So yeah, I mean, you just can't trust the story. Like, okay, well, somebody told you this story about what happened in Las Vegas, and you played a whole game about it. But that doesn't mean that that's really what happened. You're getting that from information from the guy who became the whatever ending you choose at the end of at the end of Vegas. You know, there's a couple different endings there. Yeah, I don't know. People get really upset about weird shit these days. Like the people that are all upset about Star Wars and stuff like that, and it's like, well, some of it I get, and some of it they've gotten kind of lazy with the writing on some of it, but some of it, it's just like the hate on it is not really. It doesn't really make much sense because it's like, okay, well, this Star Wars is for kids. They're marketing to today's kids. They're not marketing it at me anymore. You know what I mean? I was a kid in the 80s and, you know, 70s and 80s. I was when I was a kid, and that's when Star Wars was marketed towards me. I mean, heck, even the prequels weren't really marketed directly at me. I was part of that market share. And yeah, I'm part of the nostalgia part of the market share for Star Wars now. But like, that's not the main market. You know what I mean? I'm not part of the main. Anyway, I'm not their major part of their audience anymore. I was for a long time, not now. And like, you have to get okay with that not everything is marketed towards you, or you just spend your life just angry. At least that's how I see it. Hell, maybe I'm wrong. I love having different sizes of these dry brushes. Definitely helps. in a situation like this, and we really can kind of get down in there and dry brush some of this. Now again, a little airbrush here might actually be a whole lot easier and faster. So if you have an airbrush, you definitely want to use your airbrush techniques to do something like this. This is not the easy way. This is the, man, I do not have room for an airbrush in my crib, or I don't want to pay the money for an airbrush. And some people simply don't like airbrushes. They don't like the way they look. I'm not one of those. I think airbrushing is fine in certain places. I think it's great. It's not, you can't do everything with an airbrush, but you can do a heck of a lot with it. That's definitely gonna look good. It's still drying out here. Alright, yeah, I like it. I'm liking it a lot. Come back and finish up any of these next parts after it gets a little drier again. We're gonna have to clean these brushes out and dry them too, because we're gonna want to do like a straight white, probably right over the top of everything. always remember that that white is going to fade out on you a little bit. It will not be as... Your brighter colors will not... Your whiter colors will not be quite as white after they dry. They'll lose some of their potency. So where it might look one way when you... At the beginning, when it dries out, it'll have a different look. And you can see how our tones have changed. Yeah, McBeardsley says prequels, he was a kid when the prequels came out. Enjoyed new Star Wars, and there's a lot that haven't been happy with. Yeah, and that's saying, like, the thing is, I think they're trying to get it to where, yeah, you have different things you like, but some of this stuff has just kind of gotten to be lazy writing. You know, where you're having, anytime you have a character that just kind of appears out of nowhere to save the day, and, like, there's really no way to expect it, then... Yeah, it doesn't work. Like, I mean, people were expecting, at the end of end game, people were expecting all of these folks to show up because it was telegraphed. You know what I mean? It made sense. There was some, they worked it into the story and made it apparent that that's what was going to happen. With what's happening a lot with some of this new Star Wars is they're doing things where, like, this particular person who was on the other side of the planet has all of a sudden shown up just in the nick of time and just happens to have the exact right power to do this one thing. Yeah, it wasn't very good. Old Republic lover. Yeah, did you watch Acolyte? We were playing Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, when you could get almost any lightsaber color you wanted, and it was like there was no law. There was no law about lightsaber colors in those days. It was so lawless. Funny shit. That's good times. It was, I loved Knight of the Old Republic. I thought they did a great job with that game. And Outcast, Jedi Outcast was good. There was a couple of really good games in those eras. I haven't watched Acolyte. I heard nothing good about it. Yeah. It suffers from that lazy writing. And the thing that sucks with it is like there was some good stuff there. There was some good ideas. They had great actors. They had good ideas. It just didn't. I don't know. I don't know. It something just wasn't quite right with the way it all kind of comes together. You're like, this just feels artificial. It doesn't feel. The good ones have this flow to them, like the first couple of seasons of The Mandalorian. You know, there was a flow to it, and it kind of made a little bit of sense, you know, and there was, you got to where the things that were mysterious about it weren't just silly plot devices. There was something there. There was some tangibleness to it. You know, it made sense that these things could happen in this reality, you know, and Acolyte seems to take some of its own ideas and then crap on it. And you're like, what? This doesn't make any sense. And they suffer from that. Characters coming out of nowhere and just in things happening that really don't make a whole lot of sense if you look at how Jedi are and how the Force is and has always been portrayed. You know, and I get it, they're trying to get edgy and maybe tell a little bit of a different story from different perspectives from the universe and the galaxy and stuff like that, but you're talking about subverting decades of lore, and that was where you kind of start getting into some tricky territory. And you can do these things, but you have to, your storytelling has to have a way of people being able to reconcile your idea. You know what I mean? Where they're able to buy into it, and that you can keep the suspension of reality. Because once the suspension of reality gets broken, you're going to lose your audience. They're not going to watch it. And that's just that. There's nothing secret about that shit. It's just kind of how that be. They did the same thing with like the last couple seasons of the reboot for Battlestar Galactica. It got, you know, once we're starting to try to believe that somehow Ty was a Cylon, it doesn't make any sense. Like the way they told it didn't actually make sense, because you can go back in the show and see where it's not possible because of the timeline that they wrote. You're like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. He would have had to have been a Cylon skin job before there were Cylon skin jobs. Like he would have been one of the prototypes, and it just had too much. You're asking the audience to go a little far, in my opinion. But then again, you know, people still loved it afterwards. Or like the ending of Lost. A lot of people didn't like the ending of Lost because in the end it kind of started to smack of lazy story writing. Which, I mean, honestly, all IPs eventually, I think, get a little bit of that mission creep thing going on there. Because honestly, it's kind of what it is. It's like a mission creep, where they've been doing this thing for so long that they kind of have to, you're either phoning it in or you're going to have to completely mess the story up to keep it going. Or at least mess it up in some people's opinion. Because again, like my opinion on the end of Battlestar Galactica is not the mainstream opinion on the end of Battlestar Galactica. A lot of nerds really loved it. I just thought it was poor work being done. Hundreds of hours in both Knights of Republic games. Nice. Yeah, it was cool. It's a really interesting era. Yeah, I used to run a Star Wars RPG. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast playing that game. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to put a white over top of this. Give me just a little bit more. Give me just a little bit more. Yeah. 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 It's so close to being out. Tomorrow we're going to be like sticking our fingers in it. Or sticking the brush straight in it. And dry brushing it with that. Yeah, see, and that whole rule of two thing is fun, but you know, then you're also kind of messing with a little bit of canon when you do that, when they did that. It's just people didn't freak out as much because it didn't hit the mainstream, you know, like not everybody played Old Republic. So they could miss out on some of these little smaller plot things that had come in that become a bigger deal later. You just kind of keep layering these colors up. It takes a while to get it to balance out well, but it will definitely start balancing. See? And it's going to get to be a lot, there'll be a lot more blue, or a lot more white, I mean, once we get around to the next stage of all this. And I was like, I'm not going to do the inside of this, and here I go. Here I go. We're definitely getting ready to do the inside of this. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm making this up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. The acolyte thing, that the end of it had Darth Plagueis, like a tease to him. I don't know. We'll see what they do with it. You never really know until something actually gets done. You know, like they. Kind of like the Channing Taylor Gambit, like there was supposed to be a movie that he was going to be Gambit in, but then it got canceled, and then they brought it on for the Deadpool thing, and you know, some people love it, some people hate it. I've been to Louisiana, and he sounds mush mouth like those dudes down there. So I feel like it worked out, but I know other people who don't. But you never know. It might get enough people who do like it to get that big Gambit movie reset up, and we go for it. But I don't know. People are fickle. Things are fickle. Things are weird. And you know, they may have wanted to do something with Dark Pelagius, and then they might not. They might decide not to because it's, you know, too many people complain or whatever. People are pain in the ass. I need to come through and do a white on the outside, and that'll be done. I might actually be able to glue this thing on there. Let's see if I can try this brush out fast enough. Just a few minutes over today. I feel like that's alright since we missed some stuff last week. I guess we could just go with the other one. Here we go. I have a third one. This is what we're going to do. Because those things need to get cleaned. Okay. And the white is going to fade a lot and bring a little bit more of that blue right back out for us. We definitely got to be careful where we're throwing it. You got to remember where your light is. Remember which sides are, what sides point out, what sides point in. But since it looks like it's probably white, in reality, her kimono is probably white, but she's in this blue glow. So we're trying to get the light to pick up, or to look like the white kimono is glowing blue. I think I ran the music out again. Yeah, it's very powder blue. Yeah, it definitely is. Like a moon dust. That moon glow came from you. Ow. And again, you could, like I said, you could use an airbrush here and okay, done. But you know, it's good to see some dry brush technique going down. It's a good thing for folks to learn how to do if you don't know how to do it. And this is a lot. This is a lot of dry brushing. We better get used to that. I think this one's going to need a lot of it since we got a lot of this light effect. So it's been dry brush city since we got started, and it's probably going to remain that way. Alrighty, let's see what we got. There's a little bit of light on this. Even a little bit more right here on the very edges. There we go. There we go. All right. I like it. We're gonna go ahead and glue it. Anything we need to do, we can do on the outside. We don't need to keep it. We don't need to keep her together to do that. So let's glue this gal together, and we're gonna call the day a day. We're gonna move on. I love this gel super glue. It was so good. It just sits in the hole real nice. Doesn't seem to dry out quite as fast as the liquid does. Okay. That little section, gotta close it like that. Get on there. There we go. Slowly but surely. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it too. Pretty happy with it. So far, so good. So it's gonna look. I think she's gonna look fantastic. I can't wait to have it done. All right. Well, that's enough of this view. There we go. Pull me back out. So you can kind of take a look at what all we've got painted. I haven't glued this candlestick down. I probably should, though. At this point, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. But, oh, yeah. She's going to look great. She is definitely going to look... You know what? Why don't you just come over here? Yeah. That's going to look fantastic. All right. Well, my friends, that... Ooh, I'm just going to leave that on there to dry. You know what? Just leave it. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate everybody who came by. It's great to see Dave and Mr. McBeardsley. Wonderful to see you. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Really appreciate you guys. And appreciate everybody who comes by, watches, likes, subscribes, chats, all that stuff. It's really hard to describe how inspirational that stuff is. Where you kind of don't feel like doing stuff sometimes, and then a new like drops in, or you see all of a sudden a video takes off, and you're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's cool. Let's get back in there and get to work. So yeah, I do. I really appreciate it. It's very helpful, and yeah. So hopefully all my automobile stuff gets caught up this week, and everything's gonna work out great. I think I'm gonna start driving Uber just to make some little bit of money. So I don't know that it'll interfere with this showtime or not. We'll see. I'll have to see how things go. Anyway, you guys have been amazing. I really appreciate it. You too, my friend. Thanks to Mr. Beardsley. And yeah, we're going to talk to you guys later. All right, there we go. I got to go because I'm tying my tongue in a knot. You guys have a good one. Bye.